Hey guys, how's it going? Happy Monday.
How's everybody doing out there? Happy Monday. We're coming to you today at noon.
At noon. Yes. For those of you who are joining us.
High noon.
We ran into some traffic last night and sadly could not make our 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Sunday Facebook Live. So here we are. And we're not sure. I think that a lot of people may be having lunch right now, or maybe you don't even have a lunch break. So whoever's on right now, welcome. Thank you so much. Oh, well, Miss Evelina's here. She's on a lunch break with us. Fantastic.
Great. Yeah, we know it's maybe not the best time for folks who are working, but if you're on your lunch break, fantastic. Glad that you're here. I'm John Gardner. This is my wife and law partner, Attorney Mendoza. And
hey guys,
we are immigration law firm Gardner and Mendoza, and we come to you every week, usually Sundays at 8 o'clock. As Radlin just said, we got caught in the Northern Virginia, the legendary, the notorious. The Northern Virginia traffic yesterday, coming home. So we had to punt until today. Glad you're here. We come to do this every week to answer your questions. That's the main thing that we like to do. We're going to give you a couple of updates today, but most importantly, we want to answer questions. So if you have any immigration law questions or other legal questions, put them in the comments and we will answer them.
Yes, please do. We are probably going to go until about 12:45 today. We have another appointment after this, but we are very sorry to have missed our regular Facebook Live crew on Sunday nights, but happy for those who are here that you are here. As John said, please write your questions in the comments. This could be maybe a short one if we don't have a lot of questions. But Evelina says that she understands about the Northern Virginia because she used to live there, and that traffic is.
And before we go any further, I also want to remind everyone that what we do here is for educational and informational purposes only. We are answering your legal questions, but it is technically not legal advice. So what we do here is just for education. If you want it to turn into legal advice, then you can become a client.
Ooh, that would be awesome. We would love to have you guys as a client. So because we are here on a Monday at lunchtime, I am going to punt our inspirational immigration story to Sunday because we will still be appearing on Sunday. But because we missed last Mother's Day, we just wanted to jump on and see what questions you guys have. And we do have a couple of updates as well, which we will probably repeat on Sunday night.
Right.
But like I said, we don't want to leave our Facebook fam hanging, our live stream fam hanging, and definitely don't want to skip 2 weeks in a row. So we're here. We're here for your questions, and I think we have a couple.
We have a question. We've got some questions coming already. Why don't you digest those questions? Okay. And while you're doing that, I'm going to give a brief update to everyone. I want everybody to know, and I jotted some of this down because I wanted to make sure to get it right. On May 14th, Governor Northam did announce that the universal mask requirement in Virginia will be lifted. That was on the 14th, so it's lifted now, and that is to comply with and come into the same category as the CDC requirements. So we're like every other state that's doing this with the CDC as well. On May 28th, the distancing requirements and everything else is going to be eased out and lifted. So May 28th is going to really be sort of the end of all this stuff that we've been experiencing in terms of the restrictions. But for now, if you are fully vaccinated, then you are not required to wear a mask unless, and there are some exceptions here. One is on public transportation. One is in healthcare facilities. One is in schools. Children still have to wear them in schools as well as adults. And also any function that's a congregate function, meaning a function that by its very definition, people are congregating at it, like something like a concert or something where you're going to be there specifically for the purpose of congregating with other people. Okay. Otherwise, if you're fully vaccinated, inside or outside, you do not have to wear a mask per the new Virginia and CDC guidelines. All right. And if you have any interest in getting into the details, this is Executive Order 72. Governor Northam's Executive Order 72 has now been amended. One thing I should note, because a lot of people have been asking
He's only done 72.
Only 72, that's right.
The presidential proclamation is like 1,046. Okay, but yeah, sorry.
No, one thing I should mention, and it's important, is that per all these new rules, businesses still have the ability and the right to require masks. Okay, so even though the mask requirement has been lifted, if you go over to Home Depot and they've got a sign that says mask required, I don't want anyone to get the wrong impression and go in there and get in a big fight with the management about the mask and say, well, the governor said I don't have to. It specifically says that businesses retain the right to require a mask. Okay, so that's the mask update.
Thank you for the mask update.
Yeah, I mean, the big loophole with this, I'll just go ahead and throw it out there because everybody's asking it. How do they know you're vaccinated? They don't.
Can they ask?
They can't.
They can't ask. Okay.
You can lie. I mean, the whole thing is fraught with problems, but the reality is most people are now. I think I saw in Virginia, 63% of Virginians are now vaccinated. So that's a huge number, and it's going up more and more every day. So
awesome. Yes, they can't ask for the vaccination record. So I don't know. I honestly believe they do the best they can with what we have, the situation in front of us. So we'll all have to just deal with it and see how it all plays out.
Yep.
Awesome.
It's honor system. If you're not vaccinated, you're supposed to have your mask on still. So, I'll leave that to people's personal choices, what they do. But
right. And also just in stores and things like that with people not wearing masks. I was at a store today and many were not wearing masks. Maybe they were feeling free, but hardly there weren't very many people in the store. But all right, I've got a good question here from Baldovino. Let me pull it up.
All right, first question.
Yes. Hello. If a petition changes category from F3 to F1, does the priority date change? So let's see here. Let me unpack this question. John, I think maybe you're one of my TikTok followers. Guys, go follow me on TikTok. It's a lot of fun to make the videos. And I've gotten over the frustrating hump. I think the videos are getting better. And Ja, if you do watch the videos, let me know if the videos are getting better or if they're getting worse. But they're 1-minute videos and just very, very quick information. But I think I've seen Ja on TikTok. Anyhow, so what this question is, and I'm just trying to look at the picture here. I'm just going to guess Philippines. If somebody is in the category, third preference category, and the third preference category is the married son or daughter of a U.S. citizen. Okay. So let's say U.S. citizen dad petitioned for daughter and the daughter was married at the time. So now the daughter is no longer married. Let's say the husband passed away, or in the case of the Philippines, maybe there was an annulment. Whatever the case, the daughter is no longer married. So the question here is, now that the daughter is no longer married, the daughter is going to go up to the first preference category, F1. And that is the unmarried son or daughter of a U.S. citizen. And specifically, the question is, I've said this 3 times. The question is, does the priority date change? And the answer is no. Daughter is going to keep that same priority date. What happened?
No.
Do an update? No. Okay. I hate this scan snap, honestly. All right, guys, hold on. We lost you for a second. Let me see if we can find. Okay, there you are.
There we are.
So, right when I was at the meat of the question, as I was answering this question, taking forever to answer the question. So, no, anyway, no, the prior date does not change. The daughter is going to stay in that same prior date. She'll keep the same prior date as when dad filed the first petition. All right. John, let me know if that answers your question. I hope that it does. It was a really, really great question. We're actually working on a case like this right now, or a couple of them. And our client's about ready to go for an interview. So we're excited about that. Let's see any other questions here. Okay, Evelina has a few questions regarding citizenship. But before I get to the questions, let me get to the compliment. Of course, we're going to brag about ourselves. Guys, if we can't brag about ourselves, then what? Pat you on the back. We got to celebrate. We got to celebrate. Always celebrate. Okay. So Evelina says, I want to thank you again for walking hand in hand with me, because without you, my heart would be racing even more for the interview. Yay. That's what we're here for. Thank you so much. You were nervous too. But you did an awesome job. You had nothing, absolutely nothing to worry about. All right. Let me hide that question. All right. So let's see here. Let me see. Yes. Jad, thank you so much for the question. I think you are on TikTok. I may have seen that question on TikTok. Boy, we're getting a lot of questions on TikTok. It's hard to keep up, but keep them coming. I try to answer as much as possible. Okay. So the naturalization test, Evelyn, I'm going to send you. Evelyn wants to know where she can get the updated senior citizen questions for the test. She wants to make sure that she has the correct one. I'll send that over to you. All right. Make sure you have the right one. How strict are the interviewers on the writing, for example, if someone misspells something? So as you guys know, in order to pass that N400 test, you have to be able to read and write in English. And the writing part is the officer will read you a sentence orally, and then you have to write that down. So the sentence may be something like, where is Washington, D.C. located? Okay, so you'll have to write that on the iPad. And the question here is where, what if someone misspells something? I've seen officers make the person write it again if there's a misspelling. So you do want to make sure that you spell the words correctly. I'm not going to say don't spell the words correctly. I mean, especially if there's more than one misspelling. I mean, again, if it's something minor and it's just one word, then possibly the officer will glance over it and just gloss over it and move on. But I would definitely try to get the spelling correct on the sentence, because it does show, the person's ability to write in English. So all of the questions and all of the words that your mom would be responsible for spelling or reading are actually on the USCIS.gov website. So where the word where is up there, Washington is there, DC is there, is there. So all those words, your mom's going to be able to know what exactly the words are to form the sentence. So I think she'll be fine. I think she'll be okay. Now, Miss Evelyn is worried about her mom. She was worried about herself, and now she's worried about her mom.
Probably more worried about her mom.
Right. Probably more worried about her mom. So I would just try to not have any misspellings. I don't know how to answer your question. The answer is just know how to spell the words, because we don't know what an officer is going to do and whether they're going to gloss over one misspelling or make mom write that over and get it right in order to pass the writing portion of this. All right. And the other question is,
this is like,
how strict are they on the reading? For example, if they mispronounce something, mispronunciations are, I guess it depends on what you mean by that. If we're mispronouncing because of someone's accent, that is not going to be a big deal at all. If we're mispronouncing because we have no idea what this word is and you don't know how to read it, that's a completely different thing. So I've never, for someone who mispronounces because of an accent, I've never seen them fail the applicant because of that. So I think mom is good there. Mispronunciations because of accent is not going to be a problem. But if she can't read the word because she can't read, then that's going to be a problem. Mm-hmm. Hopefully that answers the question. And let's see.
These are hard to answer. These are like squishy situations, because government agencies and the judiciary as well, try their best to be consistent and even-handed with everything. But the reality is, whenever you're dealing with government agencies or a judge in court,
right,
they're human beings. And so it is, I know from years of trial work, you could have the exact same facts 2 different judges, and you might get different results. You might even get a different result from a judge on one day, and you have the same judge 3 days later, and you would have gotten a different result just depending on their mood that day. So it's unfortunate. I mean, they really try to be as consistent as possible, but the reality is, they're human beings. And so I think, Radlin's kind of saying, it's hard to pin down an answer for that, because you just don't know. It really depends.
Right. Yes, absolutely. All right. So let's see here. I think Evelina had another. Oh, this is a good question. And I don't know the answer to this. Does that mean friends and family can come to the future ceremony? So that's to be determined. I mean, that's going to be our local immigration office's policy on that. Are they going to change it? Are they going to start having ceremonies in the federal courtroom? I doubt that anytime soon. I mean,
that would be nice.
So I think that we are going to just watch what the office does, and absolutely we will keep you updated if the director says, yes, we will be allowing friends and family to come in to watch these ceremonies, because it is very, very special moment. It is sad that people and family members and supporters of the applicants who have gone on this really long journey, there's no one, they can't be there. And it is, I've been there where I've gone to an interview and they're having ceremonies and there's a lot of frustration with the families. Like, can they take my phone and just videotape it so we can at least have something? And the answer is no. So hopefully that will change, because again, it is a very special ceremony. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. Any other questions? I don't think we have any other questions at the moment. Let me just check to make sure on the feed.
And then you can get to those couple of immigration updates.
Oh, yes, that's right. Guys, it's kind of weird to be here on a Monday, isn't it?
It is.
Okay, because it's
it's pretty cool. I mean, it was worth it though, because when we were in Northern Virginia, not only did we get to see our daughter perform her music, but we also had the opportunity to have coffee and breakfast with our longtime friend and colleague, Jim Tom Haynes, who's also an immigration attorney and a mentor. And so that was fantastic to reconnect with him. Okay. Face to face. I mean, we talk to him all the time. I reconnect with him in person.
Right. It's been a while. All right. So a couple of immigration updates here. USCIS updates the process to reschedule biometrics. And instead of having to mail something in, so if you got your biometrics notice and you could not make that date, you'd have to mail it in and let them know. You can now call the USCIS contact center. I will go ahead and read this number. It's 1-800-375-5283 to reschedule your biometrics. I'll put that in the comments as well after this live. But guys, I do want to say that biometrics are so slow right now in our local offices. As the director said, they're trickling in. If at all possible, do not miss your biometrics appointment and have to reschedule that. Who knows when you're going to get it rescheduled? I mean, it's usually a few months down the road, but you need that biometrics to keep your case moving forward. So if you are lucky enough to get your biometrics appointment, try, if at all possible, not to miss that appointment. That is my message to you guys. But if you have two things happen, we understand. You can call now and get that rescheduled instead of mailing in. And this is also awesome news regarding biometrics. USCIS temporarily suspended biometrics for certain applicants. That's the derivative beneficiaries who are filing the I-539 for H-1B derivative beneficiaries, H-4s, the E-2 derivative beneficiaries, and also the L-1 derivative beneficiaries. So for those of you who fall under that category, you are filing your I-539, your spouse is the principal beneficiary, and you no longer have to get the biometrics. And that's amazing news, because that's what's been holding all the biometrics up. And again, we've had so many, clients and everything with H-4s, and they just stuck because they can't get those biometrics done. So, all right.
Okay, we had a couple more questions here. One was somebody wondering if we have a video about the process for citizenship.
Do we have a video? Do we have a video for the process of citizenship? We do not have a video yet. Who was that? That was Ruby. Okay, Ruby's putting me on the spot here.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We don't yet, and we should. And Ruby has really sort of hit a raw.
She's really put me on the spot here. Like, what about that video? I've done so many videos on TikTok, guys, and I need to do the citizenship one. But I'm going to just really quickly, with regard to citizenship, the process of citizenship, assuming that you are eligible for citizenship, you know that you're eligible, you've been a lawful permanent resident for at least 5 years or at least 3 if you're married to a U.S. citizen and have been living with that U.S. citizen, then the process is this, okay? Number 1, are we recording? Because this will be my video.
Yeah, this is it. This is it.
I'm just kidding. I'll do a 1-minute video. I like doing 1-minute videos. They're fun. They're
process
challenging.
For citizenship. Take one.
All right. Number 1, you have to prepare and file that N400 application. It's 20. I just did one. It's like 21 pages. And my tip for the N400 is just go through the N400 with a fine-tooth comb. So you just go complete the N400 application. That is step number 1. Step number 2 is you file your N400, and the filing fee is $725. And you can also, actually, no, I've already done a video on this. Okay. And you can also use the credit card form, the G1450, USCIS G1450 if you want to pay by credit card. So you file it. The third thing that will happen is USCIS will send you a receipt notice to show that they have received your N400 application and the filing fee. What number am I? The fifth thing that will happen is that you will get notification to get your biometrics done, and that will be at your local application support center here in Virginia Beach, the Hampton Roads area. That's in Norfolk. If you live in Richmond, you're coming to Norfolk. If you live in Nags Head, you're coming to Norfolk. And the sixth thing is that you will then be called in for your interview. So you appear your interview. The officer will go over that whole application that you completed, test you on your civics and history. U.S. civics and history will ask you 10 questions from the 100 questions that you've studied. And also you will have to read a sentence in English and write a sentence in English. And here's my tip here, especially for people who are struggling with English. The officer is also taking a look and listening to how you are answering the questions on the N400 application. So it's really not just those 2 questions of reading and writing the English. It's also, hey, what's your name? What's your address? Are you married? Where have you lived for the past 5 years? How did you get your green card? So all the questions on the application, you're going to have to know how to answer them. I've even seen it where the officer will, I had this one situation where, my client really struggled. She was an elderly woman, and this is her retest. They hired me to go and do the retest with her. She just didn't understand English at all. She knew how to answer the questions because of, hearing and memorization. But when the officer asked her, well, what does prostitute mean? She couldn't explain. What does terrorism mean? She couldn't explain. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to happen to you. If the officer is seeing and hearing that you are proficient in English, they're not going to go deeply into those questions, but they can if they see that you're just saying no to all the questions because somebody has quizzed you and trained you, and that's what you're doing. So finally, the last step of this, once you pass all of that, is you will then have a notification to appear at your swearing in ceremony. And my tip at this stage is you are not a U.S. citizen until you swear in during your oath ceremony to become a U.S. citizen. That's so important. So I always tease with my clients. I always say, guys, you passed your test. Congratulations. And I leave them and I say, before you go, don't get a speeding ticket, don't get a reckless driving ticket.
Don't get
Actually, just go home and lock your doors and don't come out of your home until you swear in to become a U.S. citizen. So we've had plenty of cases, not plenty, but enough cases to where, you know, things happen. You get a speeding ticket, you get reckless driving, that those things can kind of throw a wrench into the very final step. So Ruby, I hope that answers your question. Now, as I was going through that, there is a video about this on TikTok about the process. It's a 1-minute video. And
and remember with that N400, you do really want to just go over it and make sure you got it all answered correctly before you. Just think about, for those of you who have ever done any carpentry, and I have, there's an old saying in carpentry to measure twice, cut once. Okay. That's what you want to do with the N400. You want to make sure that you've measured twice before you make the cut, before you file. Okay.
And okay, this may be an inappropriate joke, but because I'm Filipino, my kids say that I can say things like this. But growing up in a Filipino household, we definitely did not measure twice. we just were like, whoosh, and whatever happened just happened. I mean,
you don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that with your N400 or actually any of your immigration paperwork. So
okay.
Evelina wants to be an actress.
I know, I see
yeah. You can definitely when we have our little mock interview, which we're planning on doing, you can be our person.
All right. And Jai has another question here. Can my brother file for a tourist visa if my mom's petition is pending under F3 category?
Interesting question. I'm not sure I quite understand it, but I'll read it again. Can my brother file for a tourist visa if my mom's petition? Oh, okay. Mom has a petition. Got it. Mom has a petition pending right now, filed by one of her parents as the married, but correct me if I'm wrong, as the married daughter of a U.S. citizen. Mom's, right? Are you reading that way? Okay. And so brother is filing for a tourist visa for mom. So there's a little bit of a misconception. The person who is trying to get the tourist visa, brother can help, but they're the ones that are actually applying for it. There's really nothing that you're filing in the United States for a tourist visa. Your mom would actually have to go online and apply for that, complete the DS-160, pay the fee, and then be scheduled for an interview. So this question is, can mom, I think ultimately the question is, will mom be able to get that tourist visa? And that question, the answer is it depends. It depends on the officer. I'm going to just say probably not. I'm going to do a hard, probably not going to get the tourist visa. And that is because you have a pending immigrant visa, and then you're applying for a tourist visa, which is a non-immigrant visa. And those two sort of collide, and you have different intents, and immigration does not like that. They don't like it when you've got this immigrant visa pending, and then you're filing now for a non-immigrant visa, which is the tourist visa. What is it? What do you want to do? Do you want to become an immigrant, or do you want to be a non-immigrant? And sometimes the answer is both, right? So in these cases, when a person already has a tourist visa, okay, and they've got a petition pending, we sometimes, and this is typically going to be found in the spouse of a U.S. citizen who has an immigrant visa petition pending, and they want to visit their spouse while that process is going on. We prepare our clients for what to say at the port of entry, and that is, I know I've got a petition pending. I'm going to come back. I'm staying for 3 months, and I'm coming right back. I have a job here. I have my house here. And so that's when the person already has that tourist visa. But when mom is going to apply for that tourist visa, I'm going to say it's highly likely that it's going to be denied because of the pending immigrant visa petition, but just also because it's the Philippines. It is so hard to get a tourist visa out of the Philippines. It's not impossible, but it's hard. And my other question is, brother, what is brother's status? If he's trying to help mom with a tourist visa, is he a citizen? Anyway, those are some follow-up questions I have, because If mom has an F3 visa category, those take a really long time. If we have a U.S. citizen son or daughter, that's obviously going to be a much faster. And I'm sure you know that. Okay, little clarification. I'm like talking and it has nothing to do with what I just said.
But that was still good information.
Yeah, thank you.
For some other person whose facts are different.
Yeah. My mom petitioned my married brother. Can my brother file? Okay, that makes more sense. Sorry about that. My mom petitioned for my married brother. Can my brother file for a tourist visa while waiting for that petition? He can try. Goes back to everything that I just said. He can absolutely try to see if he can get that. Right. And again, the warning here, guys, is please be sure that you are telling the truth when you apply for your tourist visa. Do you have an I-130 petition pending for you? Answer, yes. Okay. Who lives in the United States? My mother, my sister, all the family members. You don't leave any of those family members out. Any type of misrepresentation, any misrepresentation, I'm just saying misrepresentation, can be a potential problem for a future immigrant visa interview. So one example is if brother says, no, I don't have any family members in the United States, doesn't put that he's been petitioned for puts down that he's single. I mean, these are crazy hypotheticals. Obviously, your brother would never do any of that. I mean, I have seen it done, but all of that and the visa gets issued, there's going to be a problem at the immigrant visa stage.
Yeah. And, we have folks that we know that have worked at USCIS who don't anymore, or retired and so forth. And one of the things that we have heard over and over through the years is that they already know. So if you think that you're pulling something past them, you're not. Just be careful when they're asking questions. They already know the answers to most of the questions. So if you say, I don't have anything that's been filed for me, they know you're lying about that. So just don't do it. Right. It's a trap.
And if they don't know, they will know.
They will.
At that immigrant visa interview. Awesome questions. Yeah.
I mean, not impossible to get the tourist visa. Just it's going to be harder because they know that you are not. That some other part of you is intending to go as more than just a tourist, and so.
Right. Okay. Here's a good question, also by Ruby. Ruby, I can apply for citizenship 90 days before I'll be a permanent resident for 3 years. What would be the time between I receive the first receipt from USCIS and the one that they'll send about the interview? Okay, so this is a timing question. So Ruby, I don't know. I like saying Ruby. It's just fun. Okay, I don't know where you live. So you can DM me and let me know where your jurisdiction is, what city you live in, and I can look that up. Here in Norfolk, it's probably 8 to 10 months, and so I can't really answer the timing question because I don't know where you live. And your timing is correct. Yes, if you've been a permanent resident for 3 years and you're married to a U.S. citizen and you've been living with your U.S. citizen spouse, then yes.
Virginia Beach.
Oh, Virginia Beach. Okay, great. So that's about 6 to 9 months. I changed it. I said 8 to 10. It's going to be about 6 to 8, 6 to 10. How about that? And you're going to receive the first receipt from USCIS, and then the interview again. That's going to come like 8 months or so, 6 to 8 months. So the last coffee with the FOD that we did a few weeks ago, he did not go over processing times, and I was having technical difficulty. So I jumped on about 10 minutes late, and I thought that he went over processing times. And then I, emailed and DM'd my colleagues. And I was like, hey, did Frank go over the processing times? And they said that he didn't. So had I known he wasn't going to go over the processing, I would have asked the question in the chat, but hopefully we'll get those soon. Hopefully that answered your question, Ruby. And I think we have another question.
Yeah, Evelyn had a question. I don't know the answer to that. That once you become a citizen, is it reported somewhere that then causes you to get all this correspondence from other government agencies?
I don't know the answer.
I don't know
either. Evelina's saying that she received a lot of mail asking me to register to vote right after she became a naturalized citizen. So
Right.
I don't know. Was it a coincidence?
Mm-hmm. So you've stumped us. You win the Olive Garden gift certificate.
Don't give out Olive Garden gift certificate because a lot of people stump us. Hey guys, we don't know everything. We don't know everything. We know what we know. We do try to find out for people who have questions that we don't know the answer to. All right, let's see here. I'm just scrolling to see if we have any other questions, and these are great. These are great questions.
Yeah, these have all been wonderful questions.
Yes. Yeah, see, Evelina she was afraid to go anywhere after her.
So we've seen it. I mean, it's just, I had a client who he got a DUI in between passing and his oath ceremony. And then, he had 2 years of good behavior under the DUI statute that he was looking at, which they won't finalize it if you're under that good behavior. So
right. Not only will they not finalize it, they will deny it. And then you have to reapply.
It's such a bad situation for him.
So this is a really good question. Does applying for a passport make your naturalization official? I haven't applied yet, but I know they said that was the first thing I should do. No, you are a naturalized citizen, whether you have a U.S. passport or not. You don't need a passport.
You do not need a passport.
You should get one so you can go home and
you should get a passport.
Well, I guess you can go with your other passport. But yeah, you can apply for it, but it does not make it official. You are already officially a naturalized U.S. citizen. Yay!
Passport or not.
Passport or not. That's right. That's right. All right. I don't think we have any other questions, and I don't see any. I wanted to really just quickly mention something that it came up in the TikTok, which I thought was really interesting. I did one about whether a lawful permanent resident can petition for their parents, and I was really surprised that a lot of people watched this and had a lot of questions about it. But a lawful permanent resident cannot apply and petition for a parent. You have to first become a U.S. citizen. So if any of you guys, thought that was a thing, then I wanted to clear that up. And then the other question that I got, which really got a lot of people commenting on, is that if you're a U.S. citizen, you can petition for your sibling, and it doesn't matter how old your sibling is. They can be, over 21. That was the question. The question is, do they have to be a certain age to petition for the sibling? And this person who asked the question believed that once the sibling was over the age of 18, they could no longer petition for the sibling. So I was really surprised at the number of people who thought that was the case, that there was an age cutoff for a U.S. citizen petition for the sibling. So I wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. That's not the case. And I also wanted to give you guys an update that we are working on the Facebook group. We've actually got the page created, and now we're going to be inviting people this week. So hope to see you guys there. And if you want an invitation to our Facebook group, please DM me your email, or you can just write Facebook and I'll figure it out on how to add you without an email. All right.
Okay. Do we have any more questions? I think
we only have a couple more minutes left. Yeah. We really thank you guys for joining. See, Evelina wants an invite. See, we know she hasn't been here in the past couple of weeks because she would have known about this a while ago. But thank you guys for joining us for lunchtime. Yes. Lunchtime with Radlin and John.
That's right.
Hopefully you guys are eating. We're gonna eat soon, but we'll see you on Sunday.
Sunday at 8:00, we'll be back here.
Yeah, we'll be back
to our normal time with more updates, answer your questions, and thanks again for coming on with us at a kind of an odd hour. Maybe it's not.
Maybe it's not.
Maybe it's not odd at all.
It's a fun hour.
Okay, everyone.
All right, we'll
just stop chatting and chit-chatting. We're going to go now. Okay? You guys have a great rest of the week. We'll see you Sunday.
Take care. Bye-bye.